Kia ora koutou, and welcome to another episode of South Pacific Muscle with myself, Mike, and what do we describe you to as? The premier bodybuilding couple of New Zealand? Or the... No, I saw your photo the other day. And you look great together, guys. So congrats on that anniversary you just had.
Cheers, thank you.
So for those that don't know, Ryan Davenport, Jamie Blomfield, no relation to Ashley, is it? Spelt differently, eh?
Yeah, it's different.
I actually just wondered that earlier on. I thought, oh, that'll be interesting. But no relation. So we'll get these two to give themselves a bit of an introduction. So Ryan, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself and your background?
Hey, yeah, so I'm 29, originally from Auckland. Me and Jamie have just moved to Kapiti Coast just recently for work. So yeah, I've been bodybuilding for probably I've been competing since 2017 basically.
Yep.
And sorry mate, the dog is playing up. And yeah, sporting history. Grew up playing rugby, eventually moved into boxing, and that's when I fell in love with bodybuilding through boxing. Basically, just ended up in the weight room a bit more than I should.
Yeah.
And currently just started up a new job at, for carpet recovery. Left my old job due to COVID and a few other things, like that. But that's where we're at now. It's pretty good. The boss is well into the bodybuilding too, so he kind of gets it,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, mate.
Were you into it before you met Jamie, or did she get you into it or give you the ability?
Yeah, I've been into it for a long time, just not as serious, basically. I've only really started taking it seriously since 2017. Always trained like a bodybuilder, just never really ate like one, and that sort of thing.
He got me into it.
Oh, it's another round.
So Jamie, do you want to tell us about yourself and about your early years in bodybuilding?
Yeah, this is actually just my third year. And I did powerlifting before that, just to, the idea was to try and put on a lot of muscle before I ever got on the stage, but then I fell in love with powerlifting, and I think it was a really good stepping stone before competing in bodybuilding.
Did you always want to do bikini, or did you originally want to do something like figure? Was that the drive?
I wanted to do figure. That when I first started watching it, I think it's like 5 or 6 years ago. It's changed a lot since then. Sort of in the amateur in New Zealand, and what bikini was back then, it's evolved so much now. That yeah, I love bikini now, so I think I would stay there.
Cool. Hey. Sorry, were you?
I made the assumption that you've been into it for a while because of how many Instagram posts you've got. You've obviously been pretty prolific since you've got into it.
Yeah, I think I enjoy that side of things as well, and having all the sponsors helps, and sharing my experience. I guess I wanted to do that as well because it took me a long time to figure out what it was all about, and it's nice to be able to share that with other people that want to come into the sport, especially girls coming into bikini.
Well, in this day and age, it's sometimes more important than what you do on the stage, isn't it? Getting yourself out there on the social media side of things.
It definitely matters.
Interesting, like as Mike said, I thought you'd been around for a lot longer than that in the bikini scene because you're very well established in the on social media, and so it comes a bit of a surprise when you said it only been 3 years. I thought you'd been around for a bit longer, but nice to hear you did a bit of powerlifting. Did you do that on the Kapiti Coast or?
No, that was back in Auckland. I did like Waikato champs, Auckland champs, a couple of other ones, and then nationals in 2018.
Cool.
Yeah, and then I prepped for Pro-Am was my first bikini comp.
I always tried to make her come to the dark side, got bodybuilding so much cooler.
Hey, you better introduce your dog to us because making a bit of noise there and wants to be in the picture. So who we got there?
This is Bo.
Nice. What sort of dog is he?
He's an American Bulldog.
Nice.
Yeah, he's
Well,
just
is
a
he just
puppy.
close to the camera, or is he really big?
He's big.
Big.
He's big, yeah.
Well, what a neat looking dog. Hey, what we will do a bit later on is have a look at your Instagram and stuff, but we kind of wanted to sort of explore the, couple and bodybuilding sort of thing. And I had a day the other day, and it's been a long day in the kitchen, and I went, oh fuck it, I'm a bodybuilder. So I put my little pink shorts on and took my shirt off, and I strolled down the beach, and I took some photos posing on the beach, and I had these sort of people that kind of gave me a bit of a weird look and a bit of cracking up to each other, and I thought, what do you expect? I'm a bodybuilder. I'm not going to, I said it on my Instagram, I'm not going to bust out a Morris dance. I'm going to flex. That's what I do. I'm a bodybuilder. Anyway, so I carried on, and I went to the supermarket with no shirt on and just cruising around. And I was like, this is kind of what it's like to be a California pro. I'm living the dream. So I pretend I sort of lived my little bodybuilder world for a day. But I thought, one of the thoughts I had was, if I had a bodybuilding girlfriend, we'd be like double trouble when we could really ham it up. So what is it really like being part of a bodybuilding couple, and some of the experiences that you guys have shared together?
I don't know, really. It's just nice having someone on the same page, so she gets it. I don't have to explain to her why I'm spending all my time in the gym, she's right there with me,
I think it's easier when we're prepping together, actually. I know we're a little bit extra hungry or cranky, but we're, like Ryan said, we're on the same page. Like when we're prepping together, one of us is not eating takeaways while the other one is doing cardio.
So do you reckon competing together at the same time, going for the same shows, is better than one being off season, one competing?
I enjoy it more.
It's cool, I don't know if it's better, we've definitely had some moments and stuff, especially on, say, peak week and things like that, it gets a bit stressful, but, it's pretty cool, both being, in your prime shape at the same time, getting those cool photos and stuff.
There's definitely positives to being empathetic and understanding, and sometimes just cooking the same meals for each other. But there's also, I've got 3 kids, so there's quite an advantage to one of us being fresh and having a bit of energy while the other one's exhausted. So once you start rolling out kids, you might have to go my turn, your turn.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
I've got a question for you though. Is there someone, one of you two, that's clearly the more successful or better?
yeah, I'd say Jamie probably. I'm just trying to keep up with her. Not get left in the dust, basically. She's
So you
definitely.
and I can share some coping strategies afterwards and have a wee cry, because my wife's far more successful than I am too.
Yeah,
gold.
Well, I think it's, I don't want to offend anyone, but it's probably easier to be more successful quicker in bikini than, like classic or men's bodybuilding. Obviously, it takes a lot longer and a lot more work to get there.
Yeah, I don't know if it takes more work, but it takes a longer period to achieve that look. So, that's a point. But, one of the things that I've learned when we've been interviewing some of the bikini girls is that they train, they eat, they, structure everything just as well as we do. And I never realized it. For some reason, I thought, because we're big and we're the bodybuilders, we do all these things. But the bikini girls, I've got to put it, they really are totally an equal to us when it comes to being meticulous and clinical and planning out and doing all the things that they need to do to perform at their best. So I guess both of you, both striving for your goals together, kind of eggs each other on, and perhaps you feed off each other's energy.
Yeah, definitely. Like there's always days where I don't feel like going to the gym, and Ryan will be like, come on, let's go. We're going to train. And then vice versa. So it definitely helps that we can motivate each other and sort of help structure everything.
When you guys are prepping and when you're dieting, are your diets relatively similar but just different amounts? Can you guys help each other out by sort of meal prepping together in any way or not?
I used to do his meal prep back in, I think, the first year.
Yeah.
And then I taught him how to do his own meal preps, and he eats so much food that I couldn't even keep up with doing both of the meal preps. Like the difference in volume of food is so much, so much chicken.
It kind of like when you look at it, like I was looking at how much packaging and stuff that I put out for one adult living by themselves, and the amount of chicken packaging and egg trays of eggs and things like that, rice containers. I just thought, shit, we go through a lot of food. And then I kind of looked at my dishes piling up rapidly and kind of realized that you actually, where most people probably cook their dinner and maybe pack a lunch, grab breakfast, whatever it is, or go to the cafe or whatever it is, when you start cooking every meal, there's a shitload of time that we spend sitting in the kitchen frying stuff and putting things in air fryers and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, we're definitely fighting over the kitchen a lot, for sure,
I haven't even considered that because, being, home alone most of the time here, the kitchen's mine. I can cook and fry and do whatever I like. But fighting for kitchen space, who wins that one?
I'd say Jamie, for sure. I normally wait till she's done and just get in there and do my thing.
He waits for me.
She doesn't wait for me though.
I don't wait.
You don't have to give the elbow out of the way.
Are either of you guys, or both of you guys, foodies? Really love the flavors, or are you just quite happy to just be robots and eat what you got to eat?
No, we love food. We love good food.
I'm just a robot. I just cook some chicken and some rice, and I just cook some pasta and some tuna, and that's
definitely during prep. I'd say I'm a robot during prep. Like, it's just all for function, Yeah.
But she will go, oh, I need to make it taste nice, and I'll put chia seeds on it, and I'll put kiwi fruit on it, and I'll have a dessert with acidophilus yogurt and whey, and I'm just going, I can't be bothered even thinking about that stuff. I'm just going to eat eat what I got.
We like a good cheat night, a good date night. We definitely like going out to dinner and things like that. But
prep. Yeah, we just eat the don't really think too much about it. But in the off season or after comp, definitely we're piggies.
Gold. Hey, talking about competition, Ryan, I saw you on stage last year. Jamie, I'm not sure if I caught you, or I don't know if I did. But do you guys want to tell us about your last season and how things went for you in 2020, 2021?
Yeah, so we both prepped for Wellington's, the regional show. That was a really good day. Couldn't really have gone any better. Jamie took out the overall, and I won my class. That was my first win, so I was stoked with that as well. And I was really happy with what I brought. And only getting better basically.
Mm-hmm. Did you go to the nationals or Tournament of Champions? I can't remember where I saw you.
Yeah, I definitely went to nationals as well. Yeah.
No, I think I saw you on stage at the nationals. So I know I've seen you on stage. I was just trying to work out where it was. But yeah. Cool. So
that wasn't quite my best showing. I think I went all in for Wellingtons and then just had just held on to that physique a little too long, if you know what I mean.
So tell us about the improvements that you've made between the previous show and that one, and then what you hope to gain for the next one.
My off season's been going great. Like last year, my off season peaked at 108. I'm a really slow gainer. Like I find it really hard to put on weight.
How tall are you?
6 foot, 183.
Yeah.
And so I'm right now. I'm already sitting at 113 now. So I'm already 5 kgs heavier than my last off season, and I'm still not really pushing the food too much. So it just feels like it's a lot easier this time around. Just doing lots of strength training blocks and things like that. Just lots of heavy lifting.
Yeah, I've seen some really good weights going up on your page. So we'll have a look at that later on when we check your Insta and that. But there's been some pretty good posts of some quite heavy lifting. I see you squatting. You had a crack at, what was it?
I would have been 220. Yeah, I'm gonna have another go at that tomorrow.
Good stuff.
Love it.
Love it. Awesome.
And, Jamie, just excuse our ignorance, but same. what improvements did you make between your last two shows, and what improvements do you hope to make for the next one?
Last year was really rough. I actually prepped for Arnold's and Pro-Am, and then obviously the lockdown happened. And I think it got locked down when the day before I was flying out. And we trained all through lockdown, and I actually think that I made a lot of improvements by switching up the training and doing it at home. Goal was always to put on a lot more size in the glutes and hamstrings. And when I came in at Wellington's, I think I really showed that. And one thing I struggle with is coming in full on comp day. I think the leaner you are, the harder it is to get full and stay full on the day. So I managed to just kind of get it at Wellington, and then holding that for nationals, I couldn't do it. I just kept on dropping no matter what I did. So yeah, didn't place very well at nationals, and then I went to naturals the next weekend and did a lot better there. So yeah, I think my goal for this year is really just keep growing glutes and hamstrings and just nail that on the day, being full on the day, being ready.
Do you guys help each other with peak week? Do you use a coach? How do you sort of adjust and work your plan?
Not really anymore. We both used to have the same coach, Steve Campbell, bloody awesome coach. He basically taught me bodybuilding, and I got Jamie on with her, and look at them now. But yeah, so we definitely do our own thing. You know, like maybe like little things here and there. Just, you know, if she's like looking like she's spilling over a bit, maybe just, you know, tell her to ease up a bit on the food. But
brave man.
I'll want to ease up on the wine at some point, and I'm a bit scared to do that. Lucky she's still off season.
Oh, gold.
Just on that note, yeah, Steve has been such a huge help to me. He's, you know, part of the reason why I'm still doing this and why I'm doing so well. So, Steve, if you're watching.
Yeah, shout out to Steve Campbell. Was he still training out of Les Mills on the shore?
Yeah, Les Mills Tag Trainer.
Awesome, cool. Hey, I just sort of bring up your Instagrams. We won't go into them too much detail, but for those that want to follow Ryan, and tomorrow we'll be getting to see those 220 squats up there, no doubt. Ryan Davenport Fit. Some cool little clips going up lately. Oh, there you go, in the squat rack again. Love it.
yeah. But I had a few injuries last year, and I had a knee injury, and it's really held me back, and I'm only just starting to get back to where I was last year before that. So I'm really happy with the weights I'm lifting at the moment.
Nice. It's always cool when you start coming into that off season and the strength starts to kick in, and you notice it, and then you almost like within a couple of weeks you go, I'm actually quite strong now. You know?
Yeah, it's all happening now, man. Like it's every day's a exciting day in the gym. You know, always getting some sort of PB.
I actually really like your side chest, bro. I've got to say.
It's funny, and that photo there, like that's 1 week post comp, and I reckon that's the best I've ever looked like right there.
Yeah, it's always good, when you're real full and come off the comp in it. It's fucking neat. Right, so that's Ryan, guy. If you want to follow Ryan, Jamie is Jamie Blomfield, funnily enough, and it's got links to her other Instagram page, which is JB _strength and wellness. Is that your business, Jamie?
Yeah, I've actually just started that the last couple of months. I have a day job as well, but obviously that's what I am passionate about. So I've just started. I'm really enjoying it.
Awesome. Cool. So hey, look, if you are interested in Bikini, actually she's doing some stuff with powerlifting as well, so if you're interested in that, jump along to her coaching page. If you're interested in coaching, go check it out. But anyway, we'll go have a look at some of your photos, Jamie, and because you do some really cool photo shoots, by the way. Who's been doing most of the shoots for you?
They're all different. I got to shoot with Sean Poe last year, and
Cool.
one of the other ones I really enjoyed was Define Photos, who I'll be shooting with again this year, probably after the next comp. Joe from Wellington Lift Crew, did a couple with him. He's amazing as well. He also did the videography for a couple of those gym workout videos.
Yeah, it's kind of like the girls always seem to do the really cool photo shoots, and the guys kind of, I don't know if we kind of don't get round to it, or we get busy doing other shit or whatever it is, but I think it's probably something for the guys out there to go, hey man, when you get past your prime, you want to have some of those really cool photos to be able to show people, because, you know, I think it's, you know, most of our selfies and our, you know, contest pics from the crowd with an iPhone or whatever it is, just don't cut it. But when you get a real photographer in there, they do some magic, eh?
Yeah, it is. It's really special.
Yeah, I'll just have a quick, there's a couple more. I know there's one that I've seen a couple of times that I really like. Where is it? That's a cool photo, eh? I like that one.
Yeah, it's funny when you were talking about when you went to the beach and, you know, you're flexing on the beach.
Yeah.
We had a, and you felt like, oh, Muscle Beach sort of thing.
Yeah.
We had, I did that with Defined and a friend of mine, and we felt like, you know, we felt like muscle models on the beach in the sun. Everyone was staring. It was quite a cool moment.
Is it? Yeah, it is. Look, you know, a lot of us kind of get a bit, you know, like a bit gun shy about that kind of thing, or kind of see it as being a bit too posy. But, you know, when you look at it from a male perspective, when we look at our idols, they're the guys that we idolize, the ones, you know, that, you know, the Arnolds, the Tom Platzes that stroll around in their little short shorts, wandering around on the beach all tanned up, and, you know, and that kind of 70s golden era sort of thing. And I think it's actually fun just to do, even if you know you're kind of taking the piss and, like, you know you're going to get a few giggles out of it, but it's actually pretty cool, you know.
Jump out of your comfort zone a bit, eh?
Hey.
Yeah, except we're always in shape in winter for all the comps in winter, and then we're all fat in summertime.
Yeah, I hear you. I was exactly the same, and this summer is the first summer I've actually been semi in shape. Most of them I've been bulking hard for about 2 or 3 months, and I look like crap. So
To be fair though, our out of shape and fat is not really out of shape and fat for the average population, it's just for us, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're very we've become I think a little bit our
Sort of perspective, perhaps.
dysmorphia a little bit there, yeah, you know. And, you know, so I always take that with a grain of salt, you know, like, you know, we are bodybuilders and bikini athletes and that, but our self-worth is more than, you know, what we put up on stage. But you know, some people do struggle with that, and so, you know, it's something just to be aware of and keep yourself in check. So thank you, Mike, for you know, calling me on my being out of shape. But this year,
no, that before photo was there. There's no question that was out of shape.
hey man, like
40, as a shape.
43 is an okay BMI, you know. Anyway, right. So where to from here? What does 2021 have for you guys, Ryan?
I was just wanting to see how my off season was going, but I've definitely got my eye on the Wellington show again. You know,
That's a great qualifier, isn't it?
Yeah. So it'd be silly not to.
I think there'll be a few people coming out the woodwork for that one.
Yeah. I've definitely got a feeling it's going to be stacked. But
They're the best ones, bro. They're the best ones.
Yeah, definitely. You want to go up against the best for sure.
What month is that in?
It's August. I just realized, I just checked the date the other day. It's like 23 weeks away, so I better get cracking. But I also do kind of want to make the move to open bodybuilding. That's just a little goal of mine. And for my first show, I want to go for the over 100 kg category as well.
How far off your weight limit are you? At 6 foot, it's 104. Is that right?
Yeah, I can be up to 104 for classic.
And what did you come in at last time in Wellington?
97.
Oh, yeah, okay. So with a good off season, you're probably Just over
Yeah,
100.
it's possible. It's possible. Yeah, I definitely think it's achievable.
Cool, cool. So we'll see you at Wellington's, and you're going to go through to the Nationals.
Oh, we'll see how we go. See how we go, one show at a time. But
What's it?
most probably.
Is there a month or 6 weeks between Wellington and Nationals?
I actually have. I think it's maybe 6 or 6 weeks. I actually don't know.
Longer
So.
than that.
Yeah, it's starting to be a bit of a stretch, eh? I'm looking at shows and just thinking about which shows to do and that, and I like the idea of Wellington, because Wellington is, you know, for anyone who's been to a bodybuilding show in Wellington, doesn't matter what federation they are, they're always good, you know, and I'd love to go and do Wellington, but if it meant, you know, 6 or more weeks of trying to keep in contest shape.
Definitely, yeah, it's hard. It's hard, that's for
So
sure.
you guys might know too. If you won the overall and got your pro card in Wellington, does that allow you to still compete as an amateur for the rest of the season, or do you does that count you out of nationals? That's it.
I assume you'd
pro
be
card?
out. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't compete as an amateur anymore.
Ooh. Tough call, eh? Tough call. If you know, if you win the Wellington one, and look, you know, every bodybuilder's, you know, got their chance, and there's going to be a lot of guys up there. But if you did win it, would accepting a pro card be the right thing in terms of you getting on stage and getting the competitions under your belt that you want to get under your belt, or would it make things more difficult? You know, potentially having to travel in a COVID environment and.
Right. Well, you know, at the end of the day, you know, the pro card, that's the dream, you know. Like, I definitely wouldn't say no.
Do you know, are they doing like nationals this year where they give a pro card for the overall winners of every class at nationals as well? So is there potentially 2 up this year for Classic, 1 at Wellington and 1 at
Nationals? I'm pretty sure that's how they're doing it this year. So I think that's really cool, actually. Yeah.
Okay. How
they're spacing them out on the different shows, and then
all of them at nationals.
I think they seem to be having more pro shows as well, which is really cool. Like I think it's men's physique and bikini pro show at nationals this year. And then, you know, depending how all the COVID stuff plays out, it's really going to make a difference to who gets to compete where and stuff.
So, Jamie, going to you, have you firmed up any plans, or is it all undercover, or where are we at?
Yep, I'm going to do Auckland's on the 1st of May. So I think we're 8.5 weeks, something like that. I usually only really do an 8-week prep, so the hard yards are just starting now. And that's a pro qualifier for bikini, and then I think there's actually 2 other ones this year as well. So there's lots of opportunity for bikini.
So if you won the bikini at Auckland, potentially in 3 or 4 months' time, you could be competing in your first pro show at the Nationals.
Yeah.
Wow, cool. Big opportunity. No pressure. Oh, hey, just in case I forget, I wish you all the best, both of you, for those things, because it's really exciting having those pro qualifiers in there, because it kind of changes the game a bit, you know, and all of a sudden, you know, you can be, you know, for you, Jamie, you could be a pro card and competing as a pro within a few months, which is usually pretty unheard of. And for you, Ryan, you know, a couple of opportunities to try and get that card. I know there's a lot of boys gunning for it. A lot of people got their eye on that classic class, and I think it's an exciting class. You know, it brings bums on seats. People really like that class, and I'm not taking anything away from men's physique, but there's usually a ton of them, and you know, there's some good physiques there, but it doesn't hold my attention as much as the classic. So the classic has given us the advantage of getting bigger viewing audiences, but it's also incredibly watchable, even for diehard kind of old school bodybuilders like me and Mike. No comment.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, it's a great division for sure. You know, like, I'm just not sure if that's really where I'm supposed to be. You know, I don't know if you noticed, when I compare myself to the other guys, and I'm like, shit, my waist is a bit thicker than them. So that's something I am really trying to improve on, to be more classic, you know, wider lats, bigger arms, that sort of thing. But I have been told from a few people I have more of a bodybuilder physique rather than classic, but we'll see where we go with that.
I mean, that's what they say, is that if you haven't got the structure for it, you can only go so far in
Exactly.
classics. But the goal's the same regardless when you're training, isn't it? It's just bigger lats, wider delts, bigger arms, you know, the works. And even as an open class bodybuilder, you want to try and keep your waist as narrow as possible.
Definitely.
But I guess to get a pro card in open bodybuilding, you're probably looking at being on stage at something like Paris, you know, 115, 120 maybe. So that's just probably a couple of steps away. And I guess if you were to get that pro card in classic, that makes you a pro. So you can't then compete in open bodybuilding as an amateur. So you've got probably a good 4 or 5 years at least of work to put on that extra sort of 20 kilos or so to foot it as a pro in the open ranks. So I mean, pros and cons are both ways, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Hey, look, I guess, you know, it's really lucky that you're the one with the wide waist, because, you know, if it was Jamie, then your bodybuilding career is kind of over. But with a guy, you know, we are not as genetically gifted as someone else, we still can control, you know, putting on a shit ton of mass and coming in
lots of tricks
in hard condition, you know, so we can get away with being slightly less aesthetic. Whereas, you know, when you go to the bikini, man, you just got to be gifted as well as a hard worker there, you know, because some people, no matter what they do, will never become a successful bikini competitor. Whereas I believe that anyone that grinds hard enough for long enough and eats enough food and sleeps enough, etc., can have a good crack at bodybuilding, you know, look like they're in the right place. Right. Hey, it's probably time for us to let you guys do a bit of shout out to those people that have helped you guys on the way, supported you along the way, whether they, you know, friends, family, all that kind of thing, sponsors. So Jamie, we'll start with you. Do you want to give some shout outs to some people?
Yes, I hope I don't forget any. But yeah, as I said before, Steve, my coach, Steve Campbell, he's been a huge part of this journey for me, and I'm very lucky to have him. NZ Muscle, EHP Labs, Sharpen Recovery, Squeeze Me Skinny, and Fit Cover Australia.
Yes, I saw that. Awesome. Sounds like you've really attracted the sponsors. So you've obviously got something that the sponsors, you know, see as very marketable. So let's say next time we talk, you got another couple of zeros in your bank account, eh?
I hope so.
No, very marketable though, and there's some huge opportunity. So all the best on that side of things as well as you're competing. Ryan, get some shout outs for us.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet, mate. Obviously Steve Campbell as well. Like he taught me the basics, you know, showed me how to bodybuild. My current coach, Matt Brown, and just all the boys at 318 Fitness as well.
Nice. 318, I've got to get there, but there's some really good names that have come out of there, and there's some really good people training there. So bit of a shout out to the 318 crew, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a pleasure. And from us at South Pacific Muscle, we wish you all the very best with your endeavors, both bodybuilding and your businesses outside of that. And it's been our pleasure having you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much.
Cool. Okay, people, we will catch you next week. Take care.
See ya.